Hello, my fellow limitless, sexy, sassy, saucy HBICs. How you doing on this lovely morning, afternoon, or evening? This is your warning. I've already recorded 3 videos. This is my 4th. So this outfit is going to be on repeat. Okay? Basic bitch. If you need help figuring out what's going on between you and your manifestation, please feel free to email me at manifestingwithkimberly@gmail.com. All of my coaching options are in the drop box below. They're in the screens. It just went by. I have TikTok. I have TikTok. I have Instagram, and they are all under Manifesting with Kimberly. I have 2 channel memberships that I would love for you to join. If you join the Hot Seat coaching group, you will have access to both channel memberships. Yes, you will. You will also have the opportunity to get into the hot seat for a maximum of 15 minutes. Okay? And you can ask me anything you would like, and you can then experience what coaching would be like. And listen when other people are talking, because we are connected to all one consciousness, and everyone is you pushed out. More than likely, someone's going to ask a question that you've been dying to get answered anyway, whether you get in the hot seat or not. That's the beauty of manifestation, isn't it? We're all connected. Anyway, I would love for you to join. I go live with my hot seat group every single Friday morning, generally around 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Sometimes that time does get adjusted depending on my coaching calls. Okay, sometimes I have to coach someone else during that time frame when I push it, but it's still going to be a morning session. And I go live with my exclusive lives group, which is No Circumstances Allowed. Tuesday evenings, generally 9:30 p.m. Can't even talk p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I've recorded a lot, so this is the last one I'm recording today. Okay, because I can't talk. I got to get it up. So some of you are going to be like, "What?" But you've already seen the title, so you've already had your what moment. There's no such thing as resistance. You don't have resistance. What? What do you mean I don't have resistance? And why don't I have my manifestation? Yes, there is resistance, Kim. No. It's joy. I know. Some of you right now are fucking flabbergasted at that. How dare I? Why would anybody choose to purposely have resistance? You tell me why. You tell me why you don't have your manifestation. And I don't mean it as snarky as it's coming out. I mean it sincerely. Why don't you have your manifestation? Why isn't it here yet? What does your mind tell you for an answer? And don't say, I don't know, because you're going to hear something. Maybe not instantly, something's going to pop up into your mind. You do know. And it's always boiled down to who you believe you are. Point blank, period. Resistance, blocks, are choice. They are limited beliefs. When you believe or tell yourself consistently that you have a block, that something is an obstacle in the way to you having your manifestation, or you believe you have resistance because there must be something wrong because the manifestation isn't here yet, or I must be doing something wrong. That is all choice. That is you thinking literally and logically. Now listen, when we first find manifestation, okay, most of us are riddled with limiting beliefs, let alone being in disbelief that manifestation could even work. But it does work, and it is real, and it is a choice who we are being. Until we found manifestation, most of us have just been in the habit of stepping into the same version of ourself out of habit And with habit, it feels much more natural to us. Even if it was from a victim's shitty ass state, it felt normal, it felt natural, and we would keep returning to it out of habit. Back then, because we didn't know any better. We didn't know there was a choice that we could just be in a whole new self. Yep. But now you're awake to manifestation. And now you're awake to the fact that you are what? At your core. I hope you said consciousness. Now, with consciousness, if you believe in God, then it is God or universe or your subconscious. Or God and the I amness to me are the same. And that is what I believe in. Not necessarily that God is some separate entity, although sometimes I'll refer to a him or a her as separate. They're not. It's consciousness. We are created from it, meaning it's existing within us, like God's waking dream. So, with the fact that we are God having a human experience, we are then given the ability to choose which version of self or who we are aware of being. It's a choice, and we're given that choice. We can tell ourselves we are anything. I am rich, I am poor, I am fat, I am skinny. I am healthy, I am unhealthy. I am married, I am unmarried. I am single, I am miserable. I am your ass anything. It's a choice. And pretty soon, if you keep telling yourself that that's who you are, it'll begin to feel natural and normal, and you will continuously return to it because of how normal and natural it feels. So with manifestation, you're breaking a habit of being a limited version of yourself. And you are choosing, I hope, to be an unlimited or limitless version of self. If you're manifesting a specific person and you have not seen any type of movement in the 3D, the literal and logical thought probably that just came up is there's something wrong. You must be doing something wrong. There must be something wrong with your manifestation game. Maybe you really can't manifest a specific person. Maybe manifestation really doesn't work. Something literal and logical just popped up in your mind. And that is because we have all been conditioned to think logically, to think literally. And our ego has always wonderfully brought up previous experiences. Or if you've never had the experience, you're thinking of somebody else's experiences and comparing yourself to it, comparing your circumstances to it, because that is how we have all been conditioned since the day we got here. That's how we've survived in our 3D. And you're breaking the habit of doing that shit because logic is not our friend. So use your logical thinking against your logical thinking, which there's a video on that already. And all I mean by that is when you're catching yourself feeling doubtful, scared, worried you're not going to get your shit, you're probably thinking something logical. So tell yourself, bitch, you're thinking logical. Stop it. Logical is for the 3D world. We are getting ahead of the 3D world through delusion, aka manifestation. That's how I think of it. But your resistance doesn't exist. It's who you believe you are. There are no obstacles. There is nothing outside of you. Nothing is out here blocking your manifestation. You're not too resistive to your manifestation. Now, don't get me wrong. We throw that term around for everything, right? Like, for example, you will have heard me say, if you've been on any of my live streams or my other videos, maybe the wish fulfilled state feels too resistive. It feels too far away. So I'm going to continue using that term. But the truth is, the resistance is non-existent. Consciousness, also known as God, the I amness, or universe, or whatever feels good to you, is flawless and limitless. And that's who we are. So these meat suits that we're wearing, we get to throw on any type of clothes we want onto this meat 3D suit. But we get to pick whatever outfit we want on. And by outfit, I mean version of self. So your resistance is entirely connected to who you believe you are in this moment. Resistance doesn't exist. And listen, before you try to argue that with me, because some of you will, let me just inform you. You can let that thought go if you want. You can let that belief go if you want. You don't have to accept that for yourself anymore. And if you try to argue your point, you'll be giving me logical examples why. And logic isn't our friend, necessarily. Do you see what I'm saying? You're about to give me logical reasons why there is resistance. It's choice. It's who you believe you are. No, don't get me wrong. Some of you were thinking, Kim, I do not think purposely at home that I want to be a resistive person, or I want to be the person who's manifesting and hits lots of resistance. I'm not thinking that, Kim. I don't think you are. But somewhere within who you are being right now, or AKA what state you're embodying right now, there is a belief within you that is limited. And I would have to talk to you to be able to nail it, but I'll be able to nail it. There's a limited belief within somewhere, within the state you're in right now. And that's why you believe resistance is a possibility. So Kim, why doesn't everything manifest instantly? Well, I believe things can manifest instantly. I do. I also believe that every manifestation comes on a bridge of incidents, where an orchestration begins to bring us our manifestation. But I believe a bridge of incidents can be instant. Meaning the only incident is you turning around and seeing your manifestation. There's your bridge of incidents. People hear bridge of incidents and assume that means a very long time. Not true. Your bridge of incidents or your bridge of events can literally just be you going, and there's your manifestation. There you go. See what I'm saying? I'm really hammering this. Wake up. You're thinking logically everywhere, because it's our hindrance. And it ties into what you're believing about yourself and your state. So, what are you really thinking right now in this moment? Decide you are the limitless version of yourself. If you're manifesting a loving, fulfilling, committed relationship, then you decide that you have no limited beliefs around love, relationships, or the person you're manifesting. Editing Kim here. I just want to add in just a little bit more to this video. I want to further my thought. When it comes to resistance or blocks, honestly, resistance, blocks, is really nothing more than a perceived guess of why the 3D reality looks a certain way, or why a manifestation hasn't shown up yet. It's the excuse we give. It's resistance. You have a block. You have a block. You don't have blocks. You don't have resistance. You are choosing to be a version of yourself that has a set of specific beliefs. Choose a different self, a different version of self, or AKA choose a different state of consciousness. Everything melts away. The beliefs melt away. New beliefs are there. There is no blocks. There is no resistance. Stop telling yourself that your manifestation isn't here because you have a block. That is you choosing to be the version of self that has the block. This is why I say what you are at your core is pure, unadulterated consciousness. Whether you believe that's God or universe, higher power, source energy, it doesn't fucking matter. Could be moonbeams. That doesn't matter. But what matters is understanding that God, universe, higher power, source energy, moonbeams, is unconditional love and is completely flawless and limitless. And if we are that, we can't have blocks and we can't have resistance. Those terms get thrown around to explain why you don't have your manifestation yet. And the only answer ever is to why you do not have what you want is because you are choosing to be a version of you that simply doesn't have it or has a limited belief. Change who you're being. In other words, be the version of self that has the manifestation, and you'll have the manifestation. We get tripped up when our 3D doesn't look the way we want it to. We get tripped up. We go searching. We go searching for our limited beliefs. We go searching for our resistance, our blocks. And if it doesn't instantly manifest, we believe there's still blocks. We believe there's still something wrong. So we start doing more and more searching and digging. And then guess what? Well, that's who we are. We're being a version of self that has to keep searching and digging to figure out what's wrong with you and why you don't have your manifestation. And that's just you choosing to be that version of self. If you keep searching for something, you're going to find it. Period. But that's not because it was there in secret, hiding from you. You wanted to search and keep looking. Do you see what I'm saying? Kind of like when people want to check out their SP's social media. And you know in your core in those moments, you're doing it to make sure there isn't something to feel threatened by. Well, if we don't change that behavior, change that habit, you're eventually going to find something. And that's because that's who you're being. And your 3D always validates who you are. So on that note, back to the video. Make the decision today that you are your limitless self. Or if that feels too resistive, decide that's who you are becoming. Because there are no obstacles. There is no resistance. There are no blocks. Really marinate in that for a minute. Really marinate in it. The minute you decide you are a particular or specific version of yourself, the orchestration instantly begins. Instantly. To bring you whatever it is you're manifesting. Instantly. There's no resistance. There's nothing in your way. Those are limited beliefs based off who you are believing you are. Okay? And on that note, I'll see you tomorrow.